Hey, what's up guys, Bajheera here. Real quick before the video, I wanted to let you know that we have new Bajheera Games and Gains Twitch shirts available for sale. So these shirts are going to be on sale, I believe, until about April 14th. And they look pretty sick. You got your weights, you got your keyboard and mouse, you got your controllers on there, and you got that good old Games and Gains on there. I think these shirts look sick. Huge shout outs to Indie Mouse for designing these. Once again, making some great looking shirts. And like I said, these are on sale now. We've set our goal at 100, which is pretty lofty goal. But I think you guys will like these shirts, and I hope you guys decide to pick them up if they're up your alley. Support your love for Games and Gains. Thanks for the support. Hope you like the shirts, and thanks for watching, guys. Hey, what's up, guys? Bajheera here. This is not going to be my longest gym video ever, but I did want to share some of my leg day today with you guys, and basically talk a little bit about motivation and intensity. Now, you guys know in a lot of these vlogs, I end up just talking about just about whatever I feel like. But this workout in particular sort of brought something up that I'd like to talk about a little bit. And I talk about it on stream quite often, I feel like, at least recently. Is that a lot of times for me, the gym is a chance to put energy and use energy, any sort of like anxiety or any sort of like something that I am focused on accomplishing. The gym is sort of one of those times to knock all the excess energy off that goes into, you know, wanting something to happen. So, for example, I can give you a few examples of this. This is, and it may end up sounding sort of like a little more supernatural than I intend for it to be. But for example, whenever I've really gone for a gladiator, you know, there comes a time where you get about as good a rating as you want to get. You know, like with like a week to go, you say, okay, so we've had a really solid session of arena. We're, you know, 100 points above the cutoff. I think right now is probably a good place to call it good and see how it goes. So you do your arenas, you get up to, you know, 2750 like last season, wherever you want to be, and then you have to wait. And that waiting process does definitely generate a lot of sort of a little bit of anxiety. And there are things that you really can't control about certain situations. You give it about as much effort as you can, or, you know, and then you have to wait, or you have to wait for a period of time before you can give it as much effort as you can. But in that meanwhile, you know, you're doing a lot of thinking, right? You're doing a lot of wondering what you can do to make whatever you want to have happen a better chance of happening, or whatever. And so, for example, when I'm waiting for that gladiator cutoff, the whole time at the gym, I'm envisioning achieving what I want. I'm envisioning achieving gladiator. I'm envisioning my efforts, my energy, like basically every set is actually further and further pushing reality more and more in my favor. And like that's where the sort of supernatural aspect comes into play, is that I don't actually think that the effort that I'm giving is really changing the world all that much, except for you know, in my body from a very physical perspective, right? Which is still good. That's still what you want. So, you know, if you're in the gym and your only goal at the gym is to just get stronger and bigger and, you know, get work done in a physical sense, that's good. And I'm sure you'll end up making results off of that. But one of the things that I do is that, you know, I try to think about something that I want, right? And so when I'm challenged by a workout, say like leg day in a severe deficit, I've also bumped I've edged my calories down a little bit. I'm closer to 2400, 2300 these days. So I just bumped my calories down a little bit just to try to get a little bit leaner, you know, trying to move that process along. You got to make adjustments along the way. And so my workouts are getting a little bit tougher. But when there are things that I want, there's sometimes where the workout gets tough and you're like, man, I need some source of motivation. And you can also have that sort of motivation come from outside of the gym. So for me, in that situation, like, okay, so I'm imagining that, how bad do I want to get gladiator, okay? How bad do I want this? Because I can remember doing this. So how bad do I want this? Okay, if you do your full 10 reps on this set, you'll get gladiator. And, you know, it gives yourself a chance to test your willpower. I mean, obviously, it may not have a direct correlation in the real world. However, you do allow yourself to test your strength and test your resolve, and sometimes you're able to push physically past where you think you really, or push mentally, and then have that mental decision, you know, affect your physical ability to perform past what you thought you could do before. But this serves a couple different purposes, right? Because I don't spend a lot of time, you know, doing a lot of research into this topic, but I do remember a lot of times when you're going for a goal that you want, there's a lot of discussion on visualization, right? On putting your real life intention out in the world and having your intention affect things. And I'm not really sure if that's supposed to sound supernatural or not, but it kind of does to me. But I think it has very non-supernatural roots in the fact that if you allow yourself to be in the mindset of success, if you allow yourself to be in the energy, like output of going on a good path, on a path that's progressive, on a path that will lead you to success, I think that puts you in a much better state of mind to be effective in the gym and otherwise. So when I'm in the gym and I'm envisioning myself accomplishing things that I want as a result of my workout, it's doing a lot of different things for me, right? So it's preparing me for that success. It's focusing my mind in on that goal, and it's also allowing me to perform in the gym. It's allowing me to push past things that I wouldn't normally be able to do if I was sitting there using all my nervous energy and worrying rather than using my, you know, whatever, you know, anxiety or nervous energy and putting that to good positive use. So like I said, I often ramble on these vlogs, but I hope some of what I'm saying will resonate with some of you guys, because that's the idea for me, basically, is taking positive energy and channeling it into positive things. Obviously is one of the things that you want to do in the gym. But even if you have negative energy, you know, worries, concerns, you can just use those, focus those in on hard physical activity, and you'll be taking negative thoughts which can tear you down and literally using those negative thoughts to physically build you up. And by doing that, you're also going to put yourself in a better mind state. You're going to say, hey, I took all those negative thoughts, I beasted at the gym, I showed myself I could accomplish something, and, you know, worked through that negative thinking while doing something really, really good. So basically the idea here is that I wanted to share with this video is, if you guys are in situations where you really want something really bad and you're excited about it, work it out in the gym. Use that excitement, use that positivity. If there's something that you really, really want and it's making you nervous, or you have something coming up that's making you nervous, once again, use that negative energy, channel that into something positive at the gym, and reap the rewards, put yourself in a better mindset, and get ready to accomplish the goal that you were thinking about. But anyways, guys, like I said, it's a short video, interesting thoughts. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, dudes. Peace!